Hey guys, welcome back to my desk. Thank you so much for joining me. Hope you're having a wonderful time wherever you're at. Today, I'm back at my desk and pardon the mess, it's a little messy. I'm having some work done on my home, so my things are currently all over the place. But today, I'm back with more Transformers. This time is the Transformers Legacy Evolution Beachcomber, and it also comes with a little, as they call it, Paradise Parakeet, which is specific, I think, to an episode of G1 called Golden Lagoon. As you guys can see, no plastic here in this packaging. They've since gotten rid of the plastic windows for a while now. But there's Beachcomber in his vehicle mode. You see a little parakeet there. Here on the side, I love this artwork here of the actual characters. Some, I guess, Cybertronian text. Here on the left, your regular Legacy Origins, or as they call this, sorry, Legacy Evolution. But there he is. I've been waiting for this guy for a while. I love this figure for some reason, or this character. He was in a couple of episodes, as I said. The main one being the Golden Lagoon one that I remember. This was one of the mini bots that kind of showed up out of nowhere in the cartoon, in the G1 cartoon from the 80s. He kind of just one day was there with no explanation as to how he got to Earth, but it's pretty cool nonetheless. I also do have the Titans Return version, so I was definitely looking forward to this one. Bot mode, vehicle mode, and his Evo Fusion, which, as far as I can tell, is just pretty much the fact that he can hold his gun in his hand. So that is pretty laughable. But definitely looking forward to opening this guy up and giving you guys a look. Okay, so here we are. As you guys can see, there's Beachcomber in all his glory, and I was really looking forward, as I said earlier, to this figure, and he does not disappoint. It's a really awesome figure. As you guys can see, I have him all posed up. His posability is awesome. Let's start off with the accessories that you do get in the box. So first thing being is this piece here that pulls double duty. Essentially, as you guys could see, this is his gun. It's a nicely painted gloss black here. And some details here. Not too much, a bit plain, but again, I don't mind. It definitely looks the part. The other part that displays in the robot here, or rather in the vehicle mode, is the fact that this becomes a front bumper for this figure. So again, a bit of a part forming aspect to it, but nothing too terrible. So this is a gun, and it also serves as the front bumper. Another accessory, it's a nice, really neat little cool detail, and I appreciate the nerd factor for it, is this little green piece here. And you can pull this out. I would just be really careful with handling it. It's soft rubber, but essentially it's a bird. His bird. It's a parakeet. This is a very, G1. Again, I'm glad that someone at Hasbro is enough of a nerd like me to include something that directly ties into the G1 series, or that episode specifically. It's a parakeet. I think that he found again in that Golden Lagoon episode. But yeah, non-articulated, but definitely looks the part. He does have, again, as I said, he's made out of soft rubber, and he has a section there where you can attach him to Beachcomber's shoulders, and also in vehicle mode. So that's really cool. It's a nice little neat insider type thing. So, but that's it as far as the accessories, which again, for this figure, that's more than enough, because I was really looking forward to this guy here. And you know what? I think for me, this is pretty much a masterpiece toy. It's got a nice size to it, even though it's technically a mini bot, as I like to call them. But he looks great. I think for a mass retail figure, he looks awesome. He looks the part. There is the head, which again, no issues on my end. He definitely looks the part. You can move it fully around if you wanted to. But he can look left, right. He can't really look down just because of the way he's built, and he can't really look up. So I guess his posability is limited in the head, but he can look fully full 360. You could turn his head around. Arms, again, You know, you guys could see it there. You can move out that much. Elbows. I guess my only bit of a disappointment here is the fact that the arms are, sorry, the fists here are kind of just tucked in place, but they are a separate piece. So you can rotate them if you so wish to, which is pretty cool. Had this been a toy release maybe a couple of years back, then this whole piece would have been one whole molded piece, and the fist would have been part of the whole form. So I appreciate the fact that you know, they took the time out. The hands do not open. I mean, that is something that a masterpiece figure, I guess, would have. But obviously, he has that section there to hold his weapon. Same thing here on this side. As I said, the articulation is pretty great. You know, you can move this fully around. The wheels also do move. Torso fully turns around, and I love the details there on the chest, the Autobot insignia, the different, you know, those pipes or whatever it may be. The yellow with the blue and red details look spot on, awesome. The legs, he can kick up maybe that much. Knees do bend pretty well, so you know, you guys could see that there. He can kick back like he's about to kick, you know, and you guys can see here the, I guess the leg, the upper leg is, there's a section there, and you get your ankle tilt, pretty gracious ankle tilt. But yeah, and then here's the back. I mean, everything's kind of nice and neat. Nothing like, no unsightly backpacks hanging out. Even the little cage for the vehicle mode is kind of nicely tucked in. And they went so far as to add additional detail there on the back, which is, I appreciate that. And then here you can see the back of the forearms. That pattern, obviously, that's for the vehicle mode, but it's really cool. The other cool aspect to this, and I didn't expect this, was the fact that these wheels, this is rubber. It's two-piece. You can pull this out if you so wish, the black rubber part, but this is soft rubber. I don't know that I've seen this in any of my mass market, I guess, figures that I have, maybe a masterpiece. But again, that's so awesome that for this figure, who, I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm the only Beachcomber fan or one of the few fans, but it's so nice that they went ahead and said, hey, this guy, he's gonna get rubber wheels. So man, the kudos to whoever made that decision, because this is precisely what I think drives toys over the top for me. I mean, just the little extra details like that. But yeah, no complaints on my end. This figure plays a part. He looks awesome. As far as transformation, I will try and see if I can go this of memory for you guys. It's relatively simple. It's just that I haven't done it in essentially quite a bit. But let's go ahead and sort of give this a shot. But essentially, first part would be to start off here with the legs here, right? There are panels on the back that you can open. So essentially what we're going to do is let's move this, which is essentially the seats and the cage or whatever, the roll bar for the Jeep mode or for his buggy mode. And then we're going to take this panel and open it up. And then you can start seeing things there. Same thing here. You're going to move this out of the way, and then boom, take that. Then you can essentially take this and join them together like that. And you will see here that this bar, bumper, or whatever you want to call it, should also be joined, right? So one of the things that we'll do here, once we've done that, you can just leave that open. This torso part can pull up. So essentially, you're just going to hold it and pull it up. Pull this piece out, which is part of the bumper here, right? And then, while we have that, we're going to take this whole leg section and we're going to turn it. These thighs or whatever are going to get tucked in there. So just turn it all the way, right? And you'll see here, one thing to note is essentially these two sections, which are the seats, as I said earlier, they have tabs that are going to go in this section here. So you'll see this right here. They're going to sit right there. And just make sure that this sits flat like that. Right? Don't quite close this yet. Yeah, you're not quite done. You're going to pull this bar up, pull it for now. And these sections of the arms here, you see those tabs, they're going to go essentially in here. So you just have to, and the other thing to keep in mind, I always forget this, is there's also tabs here on the inner portion of the arm that are going to go tabbed in there. So you could do that without getting it in the way, right? You see, guys saw I got that in there. Just make sure it sits like that. Same thing here, you can play around with it, but I just do that. And I make sure my arms are tucked in. And once they're in there, you kind of just sit like that. This section here, as I said, you're gonna make sure you join these two, right? Like that. And they're gonna go like that. The seats at this point, you can push them in and just make sure that those tabs just sit in there like that, right? And at this point, you're pretty much almost done. Then you're gonna take, as I said, so these we had open. You're gonna close them, but you'll see that there's sections here where these things are gonna go tabbed in. So there's one. So same thing here. There's a section here that goes tabbed in there. Two. You're all tabbed in place. At this point, you think you're done, but as I mentioned, the last thing to do here is this whole bumper situation. So you see these two tabs. You'll see them here on the bottom. So circle to circle, and then these two bottom squares on the bumper are gonna go in here. So essentially, you're gonna push them in, and then that's it. And then you are done with vehicle mode. Relatively simple. I want to say very effective. For vehicle mode, again, I believe it used to be some kind of beach buggy. Headlights. As I said, the gun that becomes the front bumper bums me out a little bit, but not so much enough that I think it disrupts the enjoyment of the whole figure. And again, here in vehicle mode, his feet become his the two seats, and the bars connect, and here's the back. You can't see his head. You do see his chest kind of just laying there, and there's the hands. But again, I don't display my figures like that in vehicle mode. So this is, again, pretty cool. And he rolls without much issue. Just gonna make sure he sits there. So there you go. In this mode, you can also make use of the parakeet. So the parakeet can go essentially any of the round sections, but essentially you could put him there. He could, I guess, theoretically, no, actually, he fits in there. I wouldn't, because it's soft rubber, you don't want to mess around trying to make it fit in all these other, but on the arms here, definitely looks apart. But yeah, the vehicle mode, very simple, yet very, very effective. Alrighty, so as you could tell, I am very happy with this figure. I love the fact that we've got a updated version of Beachcomber here. So I would say again, if you're a Transformers fan in general, this is definitely worth it. It's nice to see that we're getting more mini bots and pretty accurate, I would say, right? At least to that G1. And a lot of the detailing here is really well done. The blue is nice and deep. It goes really well with the gray, and you guys could see some of the additional detailing there on the chest. There's a head, there's parakeet, I put him there. But really cool nonetheless. As I said earlier, definitely a worth it toy addition to the collection. And first comparison here as we wrap up the video is to Beachcomber here. This is a Titans Returns figure, if I'm remembering correctly. This was my Beachcomber representation in my shelf. Obviously, this guy is now taken over, and you guys could see, obviously the first obvious thing there being is the size difference. I thought this guy was a good size, but man, this guy just blows him out of the water. This is not a bad figure by any means. No parakeet with this one. I have no idea what happened to his gun either. But the one thing, and this is what I mentioned earlier when I was sort of talking about for example, the detailing that they've done on this guy. You see the fizz here I showed earlier. they're separate pieces from the hands. Whereas on this guy, I mean, and to be fair, this is an older figure. They're molded in place, right? They don't necessarily, the hands don't move separate from the forearm. This is not a bad figure by any means, but the newer figure just kind of, at least in my opinion, kind of blows it out of the water. I will say I do like the chest detailing a little better on this guy, but this is the newer Beachcomber is way more accurate, and you guys could see the size difference there. No contest. Very similar figures and transformations and all of that, but uh, you know, I would say I would highly recommend the new one. So there he is. So we'll probably retire this guy and put him permanently in vehicle mode. First comparison, here he is next to Masterpiece Bumblebee. I forget the exact number for this guy, but I mean, this is just about the same size, whole different lines, whole different price point. Obviously, this has a lot more detail, but yeah, just want to show that there. I mean, if this was a Masterpiece figure, he'd be slightly taller than Bumblebee. But again, that looks pretty cool together. So we'll move Bumblebee out of the way and we'll bring in another Bumblebee. This is a Bumblebee that goes more in line with this guy, right? I think that scale is what works for me. This is the Netflix Bumblebee. But again, that works out really well. And here's another even smaller robot. Here is Cliff Jumper. This is the Buzzworthy Bumblebee Cliff Jumper with the more, I guess, Studio Series or more animation color accuracy there. But you guys can see, I think that scale, again, works really well for me. And then why don't we throw Wheelie up there? This is the Studio Series Wheelie. This is not the one that came with the Dinobot with Grimlock. This is the articulated one that, you know, you can put. But again, that scale kind of works for me there. We'll move these guys off to the side. How about some Decepticon representation here? There he is next to Starscream. And you guys can see there. And here's Shrapnel. So again, that scale works perfectly for me. I think that looks awesome. We'll move these guys out of the way. Move the Decepticons on. Here he is next to Optimus Prime with the leader and Ironhide. And again, man, that's a dream to be able to get, at least for me, to get these figures in this scale all together like this. They looked apart, they fit in really well on different lines, right? That's Earthrise, that's Studio Series, this is Legacy. So I'm glad we're getting all these figures from the show, but the scale again works really well. They look really good together. Here he is next to Jazz, Studio Series again. And again, that works for me. Jazz looks a little smaller because he's in a bit of an action pose there, but that looks the part to me. I really like that. So we'll move Jazz over here off to the side. Here he is next to two older figures. Here is Brawn from Titan's Return and Sea Spray. So I know I already have the newer version of this, so I'll be doing a video on this guy. Hope we get an updated version of this guy as well. I want them to make all the smaller mini bots that they can make. Wind Charger, right? So that'd be great. But those two, now they look a little smaller. But again, just want to show the scale with the older figures there. And then, yeah, here's the last two comparisons. But these are, again, Cosmos and Warpath. And again, it's so awesome to have these guys all there together. And that just definitely works. So as I said, definitely recommend this figure. Go out yourself and get a Beachcomber because he definitely looks apart. Again, you guys could see him there with all the different it's different friends here. But yeah, go out and get it, guys. It's an awesome figure. If I missed anything, Let me know, you have any questions, anything I can answer. We made it to the end of the video. Again, thank you so much for your very valuable time. Hopefully you got something out of this. Feel free to leave some feedback or a comment. But if not, thank you so much. And I will see you in the next video. Take care.